This week on CU Sports Mag, we are going to cover CU football like we've never done it before.
Yes, we will. We have Jordan Daison, semifinalist for the Buckus Award.
We are also going to cover some volleyball. Will the volleyball team be able to get their first win in the Big 12? CU Sports Mag is now. You'll find out. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of CU Sports Mag. My name is Aaron Burgess, sitting alongside Kevin Rash. We have got a great show for you today. Kevin, let's get into it.
Yeah, we got some K-State highlights coming up right here. And
what do we got?
Yeah, the Buffs hitting the road last Saturday night in Manhattan, Kansas, ready to take on Kansas State Wildcats. Winner has the edge in the Big 12 North. We start off with Josh Freeman handing the ball off to James Johnson, but Jordan Daison says he will have none of that in my house.
That guy just got his butt kissed.
But James Johnson early and often kicks to the outside, hits the turbo button, and punches it in the end zone. K-State up early. Hawkins trying to rally the troops. Coming back, play action fake, going deep.
In the air.
Got a man, Josh Smith. Oh no, Justin McKinney with the pick. Running it down the sideline into Colorado territory. Not looking good for the Buffs right now.
I hate seeing Kansas fans happy, Kevin.
We got, though, Hawkins still trying his best. Charles, the screen pass, little 9-yard gain. Aaron, second half.
Second half, first half didn't go too well for the Buffs. Here, Cody is going to pass it off to the man, to Charles. This is what he does, cutting up the middle, breaking tackles in and out. He's going to take that one for a huge gain. Too bad it's not going to lead to anything. Here, Johnson again is going to get diced by Jordan Daison. He is going to win the Buckus Award, mark my words. Baby Hawk here with another chance to make something happen, giving it to Hugh, taking it up the middle, untouched. I mean, he's going to go 37 yards before Kansas brings him down. That is an amazing play, but again, it leaves nothing. Cody, one more chance to make stuff happen. In the air, he thinks he sees some. Josh Smith comes down to the ball, and that will lead to this. You know, Hugh Charles, our running back, flies airplanes in his off time, and here he's gonna fly over the pile, touchdown. He had 171 yards on the day on 22 carries into touchdown. Good day for him, bad day for the Buffs. Cody had one more chance to see if he could get anything going. He's gonna drop back in the pocket. He looks like he sees something in the air. What does he see? His third pick of the night. Buffs lose 47-20. Papa Hawk, what happened?
I think for the first time probably since I've been here, I think our guys were a little, playing not to lose there for a little bit. That showed up too where Cody, this game was probably the first game where he's really forced a lot of, I think all three of those interceptions were, his fault. They were forced balls and shouldn't have either a bad read or a bad throw. I think all those things are clearly correctable, but I don't think it was an effort thing. I don't think it was a scheme thing and all that. But and then the other side of it is Kansas State's a good football team. They are.
Quick look at the Big 12 North standings. Kansas is at the top. Colorado's right beneath them. Something could happen this weekend, messing up those standings a little bit, Kevin.
Big 12 South on the other end. Right about now or not?
Big 12 South standings have Texas near to the bottom, which is a little unheard of. You can't quite see it on your screen, but trust me, Oklahoma is at the top. Now, Kevin, in the second half of last week's game, there was kind of a questionable play near the end.
Yes, late in the second quarter, Papa Hawk, as you like to call him.
I like to call him that.
Went to fourth down and went for it, and they were only down 20-13. And I guess Phil's got something to say about that.
Phil, what do you have? What are fourth down decisions made of?
You know, that's right, guys. Last week against KSU, Dan Hawkins made an interesting move. He decided to go for fourth down at the end of the first half. They didn't get it, and the Wildcats were able to score a field goal as time expired. That's why I wanted to know, how do they decide to go for fourth down?
I probably use going for it on fourth more of an instance when we need to get going versus it's already going good. And so I think you have to be careful of that so you don't just get caught up in the moment. Sometimes your team, they need to get jump-started. A lot of it has to do with, do we have a play? And, you know, it depends on what hash mark we're on, because we may not have a play that we're liking given what they're doing at that particular time.
Anyway, it's not like we're just going out there and rolling the dice and, hey, let's see what happens on the fourth down play. If we have something that we feel good about, we're going to, you know, if it's the right situation, we're going to try to make that play.
That was a play that we had, and we thought it was a good play regardless of whether it was first, second, or third down. And when it came up on fourth, we knew it would be open, and their safety actually played it really well, and it wasn't planned to go that way. It was Tyson was supposed to come across the middle, and they kind of walled him, so we had to throw it backside, and it was a great adjustment by Tyson.
That was the kind of situation where we felt like we had a play at that point down there down by the goal line, so we felt like we had a play, and we felt like it was our best option at that point.
Yeah, we were just trying to do a little double move where he kind of runs one route and then continues vertically into the end zone, and their safety and their linebacker both kind of jumped inside, and he and Cody made a nice adjustment to make the play outside. That was obviously a huge point in that game where we needed that a touchdown rather than a field goal, and it worked out.
Kick by Eberhard. He's got a strong leg. This one is up. It is on its way, and it is good.
That was huge, you know, right before halftime, we really figured we had to get to X yard line, and the same thing against Oklahoma. We were trying to get to the 30 and just let him win it, and we got to, the 28, I think it was, and he banged a 45-yarder. But that's a huge deal, and you kind of have to, you know, think of all those factors of where the game is, like you said, what's the momentum, what's the score, how much time's left, and then definitely your field goal kicker versus your punter versus your fourth down play.
A lot of that comes into play as well. Also the fact of how your defense is doing, you know, and I have a lot of confidence in our defense.
Our defense is playing great, and we've got to keep complimenting them, and that's one thing. We don't want to put them in consistently bad situations or risking those situations, but they've come through way more often than not.
I think our defensive coordinator does an awesome job with our guys, so if we were in that kind of situation, we'd like to play to win, but we definitely feel confident if we had to punt and let our defense stop them, that they would do that. Sometimes when the offense just really feels that they're on fire, then they'll want to go for it, and the coaches are kind of saying, no, I don't think we should. And I think that's a good mentality to have, though. Every time we punt the ball, we're very disappointed, but it works out for us.
You know, sometimes you don't get it, and it puts you in a bad situation. But just over the length of my career, more times than not, it's helping you rather than that. As we continue to push our guys and our program along here a little bit, you want them to be assertive, and you want them to be confident. You want them to say, "Hey, let's go for it. Let's get this thing."
Now the Buffs are 8 for 18 this season on fourth down. However, the emotional part of the game is really important to Coach Hawkins, and I guess it is a learning experience. So hopefully the team is moving forward, guys.
Thank you, Phil. In other breaking news, senior point guard Marcus Hall had surgery Thursday to try to repair a torn ligament in his right thumb. Coach Jeff Bezdelk says he should not miss any practice time, but will have to wear a splint on the thumb. If you remember, Hall is returning to the court after he redshirted last season because of academic reasons. Coming up after the break, we are going to reveal this week's Athlete of the Week.
And also we have Roman Payan in studio ready to talk about women's volleyball.
Immediate openings available for the most important jobs in America, helping the organizations that help children. Whatever you can do, in whatever time you have, you can make a difference. To learn how you can help in your community, reach us at this web address and number. We're fighting for the children. Whose side are you on?
Faster. Only those with high-tech skills will excel.
Power, spear 1-1, hold short of 1-6.
I'm getting those skills now in the Air Force. It's given me powerful tools, education, training, and experience. With Air Force skills, I can keep up with tomorrow's changes, and so can you.
The CU women's soccer team marked their second win ever in Waco, Texas Friday night as they took on the Baylor Bears. The Buffs got an early lead with a goal by junior Amber Bentenhausen, but Baylor quickly responded when Buffs goalie Kara Linder let in her first goal of the season. The second half remained scoreless until the last 12 minutes when Baylor took the lead with a breakaway. CU would score 2 more goals to take the 3-2 victory. This win gives CU the motivation they will need to play number 5 Texas A&M at home this Friday.
The CU women's soccer team lost 4-2 against 5th-ranked Texas A&M last Sunday. The Buffs' first goal came in the 28th minute when senior Allison Kidd sent a screaming shot just over the head of Texas A&M goaltender Kristen Arnold. CU struck again just before the end of the half with a goal from sophomore Nikki Marshall, putting the Buffs up 2-0. Marshall's goal marked her 8th of the season and her 4th consecutive game with a goal, tying a school record. A&M came back in the second half, however, scoring 4 unanswered goals and went on to win the game. CU will continue Big 12 play action this Sunday against Missouri.
Buffs soccer player Gianna DiSaverio scored the game-winning goal last Friday in a 3-2 win over Baylor. This transfer student from Arizona now has 3 goals scored on the season. However, this was her first game-winning goal. That is why she was chosen as CU Sports Mag's Athlete of the Week.
During that game, we fell down 2-1 to Baylor, and we were a little bit upset about that. And we finally started playing like we know how we can play, and we put 2 in like 12 minutes, I think, to win the game. Well, I played it to Nikki Marshall outside, and she had a great cross and came our outside back, worked her butt off to get up the field, and she laid it back across the middle, probably across the 6, and I just put it in. I don't know exactly how I finished it. It was kind of an awkward ball. My name's Gianna DiSaverio, and I'm CU Sports Mag Athlete of the Week.
Last Saturday, the CU volleyball team attempted to break an 8-game losing streak as they took on Texas A&M. Colorado quickly got off to a 15-10 lead and held off a rally by the Aggies to win the first game. Unfortunately, that would be the only game the Buffs would win, as the Aggies won the next 3 to win the match. The Buffs had more attacks than A&M, but on kills, they only had no chance against the high-powered A&M Spikers, who had 72 kills. The loss moves Buffs to 5-11 overall and 0-9 in the Big 12.
The University of Colorado volleyball team battled it out with Iowa State Cyclones last Wednesday at the Coors Event Center. It was a record-breaking game for the Buffs, who set school records for blocks and block assists at 26 and 42 respectively. Unfortunately, the team wasn't able to hold on, losing to ISU after 5 games. This puts the volleyball team at 0-10 in the Big 12, extending their losing streak to the longest in CU history. The team will travel to Waco, Texas on Saturday to take on the Baylor Bears in hopes of breaking their 10-game losing streak.
Now, Roman Pion is here to talk a little bit of volleyball with us. What's going on with this team?
Well, as you guys well know, this CU volleyball team is struggling. The interesting thing is, it's not like the Buffs themselves are being outplayed by any means. Mm-hmm. They're keeping a lot of these matches really close, often taking them to five games. To tell you guys the truth, this game, they're actually performing a lot better than this disappointing record shows.
Roman, why do you think they're having such a hard time closing out these matches?
Well, when you look at the roster, they're composed of only 3 seniors. It's a really young team. They have Amber Sutherland, Kristen Karlik, and Therese Vignal. There's only Kristen Karlik has actually gotten playing time, and injuries have really kept this team down lately. And personally, I think it's a lack of experience, and they're just not getting it done. They haven't been in these kind of situations before.
Do you think there have been any players on the volleyball team that has really had some struggles this year, Roman?
Well, like I said, the 3 seniors, they've been really struggling. Injuries have really kept them down. But looking on the brighter side, a lot of freshmen have really stepped up. Shyler Edelman, she stepped up into a starting role. And Ellen Henry, she has stepped into CU's passing. She's stepped in for Amber Sutherland really well.
Now, one last question we got for you, Roman, is what do you see in the future for this Buffs team?
You know, they're a young team, and there's only good things to come in the future for them. The younger players are getting a lot of experience, and hopefully that helps out this program in the future. Like I said, the young players are getting a lot of playing time, and hopefully that'll help them out in the seasons to come.
Great, Roman. Thank you very much. Now, last weekend, I had the opportunity to travel to Manhattan, Kansas to watch the CU K-State game. And while I was there, I noticed there were a number of traditions that I didn't understand and, to be honest, were borderline obnoxious. This week, the Buffs are playing Kansas Jayhawks, who have an odd tradition of their own. And that leads us to this week's trivia question. What is the origin of the chant, Rock, Chalk, Jayhawk? We will be back with that answer a little bit later in the show.
Also, coming up after the break, we've got a new edition of Double Team, so stick with us.
Stay right here.
One out of every 4 babies is not fully immunized. Your child before age 2. You gave them life, protected.
Sad. Looking back now, the things you go through in life, scary. The worst thing about being on welfare was at Christmas time. I couldn't get my kids what they really wanted. I had to get a better life for my girls and myself. I got off welfare. I got a good job. Makes me the happiest mother in the world. I live for my girls.
We're not asking you to hire everyone on welfare, just one.
Back, we're gonna toss it over to double team real quick.
That's right, Kylie Burst and Caitlin McPherson are here to break it down. Take it away.
Hi, welcome to Double Team. I'm Caitlin McPherson, sitting alongside Kylie Burst. Today we're going to talk a little bit about football, a little bit about soccer. We're going to start off with some football, though. Now, Kylie, CU's coming off kind of a rough weekend.
That's right, Caitlin. They lost to K-State 47-20, so it was definitely not their best game. But at the beginning, it really seemed like they were equal. They were on the same level, but it really came down to a matter of who had the better night. And clearly, in the end, that was K-State. They made fewer mistakes and really took control.
That's right. They took control right from the beginning, too. They started off 10-0. And CU just wasn't able to catch up from that.
Another problem was that Cody Hawkins had 3 interceptions. And while this was a game where they had a lot of throwing plays, there was so much more room for mistakes, and it was almost inevitable. But this is a correctable mistake, and from what I've heard, they've been working really hard all week to make sure that this doesn't happen again this weekend.
Right, and another one of the problems they had was they had a lot of penalties, most of them on key plays, which didn't help us at all. But again, that's something that's really fixable, and hopefully we won't see that this weekend.
That's right, and the Buffs have a great attitude going into this weekend as they take on Kansas. They've learned from their K-State mistakes. As I said, they've been practicing all week, and it's also family weekend, so there's going to be a lot of positive energy coming from the fans in the stands, and hopefully that'll really have a great effect on the game.
Now, coming in this weekend, CU is 4-3, 2-1 in the Big 12. K-State, on the other hand, is 7-0, 3-0 in the Big 12. So they're undefeated and they're ranked 15th, which does have people pretty worried.
You know, this seems like a huge disadvantage, but we did beat Oklahoma earlier this year, who was ranked number 3 at the time. And in the past 18 years, we've knocked off 10 ranked, undefeated teams here at Folsom Stadium. So it's anybody's game. This is really a possibility for a win for CU.
Looking at some specific players that we can watch out for this weekend. Kansas quarterback Todd Reesing, he is a sophomore, He's first-year starter, though. He's already off to a great start, very efficient with throwing the ball, great at throwing it to the right person, and he's great at not allowing turnovers. He already has 1,652 passing yards for the season, which is incredible.
You know, it's funny that you say that, Caitlin, because Cody Hawkins is coming up on a 2,000-yard passing season for himself. He's currently at 1,680 yards, and if he keeps up this pace, this momentum, he's going to be on track for 2,880 yards, and only 4 times have CU quarterbacks passed 2,500 yards. So this is a really important season, not just for him, but for the record books as well.
Right, and a couple other CU players to look out for. Jordan Daison, he's up for the Dick Butkus Award, so clearly he's one of the nation's leading tacklers. He should be a huge asset to CU this weekend. Also, Hugh Charles has been improving all season. Coach Hawkins has been talking, he's been running more assertively, he's making more tackles, he's breaking more tackles, and his confidence has just really been going up. So he should be a fun player to watch this as well.
It's going to be a really exciting weekend, and we're actually going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be switching gears and talking a little bit about women's soccer.
You know, we sing for millions of girls, but helping out in schools, that's the real deal, baby.
I know our love can multiply, 'cause you're the X and I'm the Y.
I'm the cute one, you know what I'm saying? So, have you ever been backstage before?
Okay, guys, this is an abacus, an old school calculator. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Like the circle and the square, our geometry is a perfect pair.
Now, why should kids know about gravity?
Well, gravity holds them down.
I once was one, but now we're 2.
I'm spinning out of control.
Welcome back to Double Team. We're going to dive right in and talk about women's soccer. They had quite the weekend.
They did. CU soccer is 7-4, and they played the Baylor Bears, who's 7-7 this weekend. They played in Waco, Texas, and they ended up winning 3-2, which was very exciting. It was only the second time they've ever won in Waco, so the team felt really good about that.
Talking a little more about specific players, Amber Bettenhausen scored the first goal of the night, and it was also the first goal of her career. So that was a really exciting night for her.
And then, unfortunately, though, Baylor scored, tying up the game, and it was tied until 12 minutes left in the second half until Coach Bill Hempen decided to change the formation a little bit, hoping it would kind of click for the team.
And clearly it did. Nikki Marshall and Gianna DiSaverio scored the last 2 goals of the night. They had really nice, clean shots, perfectly set up from the teammates. It worked out really well. Clearly, whatever coach did, it worked perfectly.
And the team felt really good about it. It was a high-energy game. They were very successful. They felt really great going in 2 days later, though, playing Texas A&M, ranked number 5. Unfortunately, that game didn't go quite as well.
That's right. Texas they're ranked number 5, so they have 11 wins and only 2 losses. But at the beginning, the Buffs had a 2-goal lead at halftime. But unfortunately, by the end of the game, they fell to 4-2 and just could not recover and take back a win.
Yeah, the Aggies just did a great job of busting through CU's defense, and 2 of their goals were from corner kicks, too. So it just really wasn't the best night for the Buffs.
Despite their loss, Nikki Marshall, who is a sophomore this year, is still a highlighted player on the team. She has scored at least 1 goal in the past 5 games, and her 8 goals this season is a team high. So if she can keep up her momentum, hopefully we're looking at another win for the Buffs this weekend.
That's right. They play Kansas on the 19th. And so hopefully, like you said, they'll be able to pick up their momentum like they had when they played Baylor, and hopefully we'll be able to see 2 Buff wins this weekend. So I guess we'll send it back to the desk. Again, I'm Caitlin and Kylie, and this is Double Team.
Thank you, guys. Now, don't go anywhere, everybody. Just because Double Team's over doesn't mean the show's over.
That's right. Coming up, we have... What do we have coming up? Trivia Answer.
Trivia Answer. Stay here.
In Salisbury, Maryland, the hungry are being fed. In Wind Falls, Indiana, a man who learned to read at 47 is making sure others learn earlier. Every day, someone in America is doing something to light up another life. But there is so much more to do. The light to do it is within us all. We only need to share it. Call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
Now, what is Rock Chalk Jayhawk?
I'm as confused as you are, Kevin, so let's get right to that trivia question. Again, what is the origin of the chant Rock Chalk Jayhawk? And the answer? The cheer is a modern rendition of a chant written in 1886 by a Kansas chemistry professor who originally wrote it for the Science Club.
Rock Chalk is a transposition of Chalk Rock, which is the name of the limestone cliffs that surround the Kansas campus.
Can't make that up.
Typically, when an athlete is profiled, it's because of what he or she did during a game. And while George Hippolyte has plenty of big plays to choose from, he also stands out for a different reason. CU Sports Mag's Amanda Blackwell spoke with Hippolyte to find out what makes him stand out among student athletes.
Junior defensive tackle George Hippolyte is known to most Buff fans for those bone-crushing sacks and his uncanny ability to pump up a crowd in crucial situations. But Hippolyte also has a softer side, one that is both seen and felt by many members of the community in need. In the past few years alone, he's logged close to 400 community service hours.
It's just always been a part of my life ever since I was a young kid. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, and in my family it's just, it's a given. That's what we do on weekends. We give our time to people less fortunate than us. Sometimes, it only takes 2 minutes, 2 seconds to smile, a hello, a how are you doing, and, people's days seem to go better. And when you see that kind of effect you have on people, it's infectious to me. It helps you get along in the day because you know that every aspect of your day is only so small, and in the grand scheme of things, helping people is way more important.
But Hippolyte's participation in football, class, and community service has not been easy and has become something of a balancing act.
This particular semester it's been pretty hard. I haven't had a chance to do as much as I would like, but previous semesters before this, it's been a struggle, but that's life. It's I could be spending an hour doing nothing on campus, or I could spend an hour brightening up someone's day, and I'd rather brighten up someone's day.
However, all of his hard work has not gone unnoticed. In mid-September, Hippolyte was named to the 2007 AFCA Good Works Team, an honor that rewards student athletes for their contributions off the field.
A big honor because to be recognized for the work you do in the community, I think, is more important to be recognized for what you do on the field. Because I only play football for so long, and it's a very small part of my personality. But those are the kind of awards you love winning because it shows that you're having an impact on people and people are noticing.
Of course, Hippolyte is not the only Buffalo that participates in charity events, nor does he have a hard time finding people to help out.
Sometimes other teammates are guys who come to me and, ask me to go with them and do something. And, this team, this school in general is really up for things like that. And so it's been very encouraging because, I'm usually never alone.
And it seems that the people in the community don't mind having him or his teammates around either.
I was reading to a second grade class, and one of the girls asked if I knew one of my teammates, and I obviously responded yes. And then she said, "Oh, he's so dreamy."
Not only does Hippolyte make a difference to people in need, they have an impact on him and his everyday life as well.
You can't get caught up in one thing. Life, you have to be balanced. You have to keep moving in life. A lot of traumatic experiences happen to people and they go in the tank, but you see certain people maybe with quote unquote disabilities or people who've had really, really tragic things happen in their life that are terminally ill, and they're still fighting every day, and they're not letting whatever's wrong or whatever could be considered wrong with them hinder or stop them. And when you get out on a football field and someone tells you it's the fourth quarter, you have to give a little bit more effort. It's really easy to find that when you think that, wow, there's a kid, a cancer patient who knows he's going to die in 2 weeks, but still gets out of his bed every morning. That's amazing.
Lacey Torres, the senior on the women's tennis team, is off to a good start in the ITA Central after winning her first 2 matches Wednesday. Torres advances to the round of 16 after beating Rebecca Berger of Wyoming and Edna Horvath of Kansas. The 2 victories pushed Torres to her 61st career win and 18th place tie on CU's all-time wins list. She looks to continue her hot streak as the tournament concludes this weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Colorado senior linebacker Jordan Daison has been named one of the 10 semifinalists for the Dick Butkus Award, which is presented to the nation's best linebacker. Daison is the nation's leading tackler with 97 total tackles, with 71 of those being solo stops. Daison is looking to become the 3rd Buff to win the award, joining Alfred Williams from CU's 1990 championship team and Matt Russell, who claimed the honor in '96. The list will be narrowed to 3 finalists by November 9th, with the winner to be announced in Orlando in December.
Now, this wouldn't be a sportscast if we did not mention the Colorado Rockies. They are in the World Series. CU Sports Mag's Kylie Burse hit the campus to see what CU students think about this crazy development.
On a typical fall afternoon, midterms and college football tend to dominate the conversations on campus. But lately, all the buzz is about a few guys named Tulo, Matsui, and Holiday. That's right, Colorado's hometown baseball team is going to the World Series. Rockies gear can be seen all over campus. But are they true fans or just jumping on the bandwagon?
Rockies fan through a lot of losing seasons.
I'd say yeah. I didn't always necessarily follow it extensively, but I'm a Colorado native, so I've always liked the Rockies. Going to the game since I was a little kid.
I'm wearing a twin shirt today, but I normally got my Rockies gear on.
I've never really been a fan, so I thought I'd just completely do away with all of it, Yeah. But I still love those who support the home team and root for the home team, okay?
Been to every opening day game since '99, so and I was at the last one where they went to the World Series.
Yeah. They say they're faithful Rocky fans, but can they name a few players on the team?
Brad Hopp, Troy Tulowitzki, Ryan Spielborgs, Willie Tavares, Kazuo Matsui.
Matt Holiday and Matsui, whose first name I don't think I know, but
Todd Helton is the pitcher, I think, one of them. And then Matt Holiday and Kaz Matsui, or Kazuo, I think it's Kazuo Matsui.
As college students strap for cash, are they willing to dish out the big bucks?
My boyfriend's trying to get tickets, but
I've heard they're pretty expensive, so I'm going to be content just watching on TV.
All my family and some of my friends are all going to be on our computers at 10:30 on Monday when the tickets come out, and we're going to try to get some.
For CU Sports Mag, I'm Kylie Burse.
All right, Kevin, it is family weekend here at CU, and there's a big football game this Saturday. Are you going to go there?
Number 15, Kansas. You bet I'll be there. Of course.
Well, what is your prediction for the win?
30-27 Buffs.
All right, that's going to do it for Sports Mag. For Kevin Rash, I'm Aaron Burgess. This is our show.